is Michael Knight. I forgot my fucking walkie-talkie.
Hello.
Wow, look at you. You're like, are you reporting at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade?
I don't have my big long Bob Barker mic, but this is the best that I could do. So
The fact that you know Bob Barker kind of scares me because I know you're a youngling.
I'm not that young. Come on now.
Okay, well,
I might look it, but
oh, okay. So we'll dive into that. So, oh my gosh, this is a momentous occasion. Everyone, Michael freaking Knight is here.
Hello.
And look, and he is doesn't have a mustache, and he's not wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
no.
And
That was a rare occasion, by the way.
it's quite shocking. Well, thank you. Well, wait a minute. I think I need a little sip of water. Just give.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much for your support.
An imaginary sip of water. Yes, I love the colors of this mug. And
Designed by my
do you have
wife.
one of your glasses there? The other ones?
I do.
Let me see that close up. Ooh.
Retrofuturism 101 pint glasses
Yeah.
available on the merch shop. Which
I
you can
decided
find
to
in
go
my
for the mug. Obviously, for
social
me,
media links.
I'm more of a mug girl. Otherwise, I may still get a glass just to have it around there. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, listen, I'm very happy we're here. I mean, you keep us company on Friday nights. So it's on Twitch and the Uncertain FM. Is that the
Yeah, simulcast on Uncertain FM, which is
Okay.
a friend of mine's internet radio station that he started right around the same time I started Retrofuturism 101. So
Wow. One of the other main reasons you needed to be here is that you have an impressive prize collection of collectibles. And so who better to co-star on a show called Show and Tell? So, we're going to get into that in a bit, but, I always start with the origin story. So let's just start from there. So the golden question is, who is Michael Knight?
Michael Knight's just a small town boy.
Okay, on that note, who was Michael Knight as a kid and where are you born and raised?
Michael Knight. So I'll set the record straight. I know that I like to keep my DJ persona separate from my personal life, though there is not too much of a difference between the two, honestly. My real name is Scott, but I go by Michael Knight on Retrofuturism 101.
What?
So you heard it here first.
Well, wow. Okay, everyone. And so going back to your childhood, obviously that was one of my questions. What was your initial connection with like Knight Rider? But as a kid, again, where were you born and raised roughly? And
Sure.
tell me about that.
I was born I grew up in a very small town in central Massachusetts. I went to a very small high school. My graduating class had about 50 kids in it. I used to make this joke when I was in college that I grew up very sheltered. I just grew up in a really, really, really small town.
In Massachusetts. So you're near
yeah.
Boston now. So you've stayed local.
I've stayed
for
local.
the most
Yeah, I'm actually one town over from the town I grew up in,
Okay.
and I work in Boston at a university in the Boston area.
I'm dying to know, where did your connection with Knight Rider begin?
Well, this might end up being a little bit disappointing, but when I was a kid, I was actually more of a MacGyver fan than a Knight Rider fan. But I've always been obviously a big fan of Kit, the car. I mean, who didn't love the car on Knight Rider? Speaking of which, we do have our replica Kit car that does, if I can do it with the right door.
Yours
Yeah,
opens
it
up and
does.
lights up. You know what's
Yeah.
really sad? I was going to ask you, do you have this little tiny one?
Ah.
Do you have, how many do you have?
Just that one. My wife just got it for me like 2 years ago. So
I'm going to send you this one as well. This is a tiny one. It doesn't do anything. And I'm embarrassed. I ordered it thinking, oh, it'll open up. And yours, you have the one I wanted. But I'm going to send you this one too if you want it, just as a little momentum of our chat, because I did get it for you for this occasion.
Thank you so much.
So I'll
Very
mail
sweet.
that over to you somehow. So, okay. So MacGyver, not the same as cool ass Kit and Michael Knight, but still.
Yeah.
So are you an 80s kid or a 90s kid? Because I'm thinking we're in your 90s, no?
Well, my teenage years were in the 90s. I was born in 1981, so I'm gonna be 41 this year.
You're freaking old, man.
I know, I'm an old man.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that, because I'm thinking, I'm talking to this young, and no wonder we have all this stuff in common. So
Yep.
I'm very happy to hear that. So I'm going to go back and forth between,
Sure.
the pop culture stuff and music, because I'm, you are a music program as well. So what was the first record you remember buying, or cassette as a kid?
Wow. So my parents had a few records, but we weren't really listening to records when I was a kid. I remember cassettes and CDs. I swear my dad was like the first person to buy a CD player in like the whole world, because he brought it home. And then I remember, and my brother will fight me on this one to this day, but my first CD that I ever bought was the soundtrack to the movie Ghostbusters.
Who can you call?
Ghostbusters! Wow.
My sister's was New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough, and my brother's was Tiffany, because I think he she was attractive, so that's why he bought that one.
Okay.
He will deny it to this day, but I swear that it's the truth.
That is amazing. Well, I'm glad you remember all that. You're keeping record. So that's music. So in general, what got you hooked into collecting just about everything, apparently? And we're going to find out in a few minutes. What started that?
Wow. I've always loved film soundtracks. So whether they be orchestral or electronic, or just like really good soundtracks with good popular songs, I've always loved music and how it works in film, and how it can make a movie better just by being there. So I've always loved soundtracks. I've collected soundtracks on tapes and CDs for ever since I was, probably when I started to be able to buy them myself. So in my teenage years, definitely. And then one of my friends bought me the Queen Flash Gordon soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh my gosh.
Probably in 2010-ish.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
And I love that movie. And the soundtrack is fantastic. And that's another one of those, the movie is made better by the soundtrack. And that was the first vinyl soundtrack I ever owned. I didn't even have anything to play them on at that point. And then I started to get more into collecting vinyl soundtracks and just vinyl albums in 2012, 2013.
Wow. Well, we're going to show that. So you have something you call the analog basement down there where you are. So is that correct?
Yes.
The analog basement. So in fact, I'm going to show a little video clip here. So, boop. Okay, so with what we just saw in that little clip, how much physical media do you think you have? Can you even?
Wow.
Is everything there,
guess.
or do you have some stuff in storage too?
No, it's all out. I like to have my stuff out. So wow, the music collecting really only just started within like the last 10 years. But my first job out of college was working at a Best Buy. So for 4 years right out of college, I worked at a Best Buy, and that's where my DVD and Blu-ray collecting started really, really badly back then. It is slowed down quite a bit, but I obviously you can see I have so many of them still.
Oh yeah, and everyone's going to see this, so this is really cool. Also, your horror collectibles are scary cool.
Figures, Leatherface, Jason, Sam, Michael Myers, Ghostface, Freddy Krueger in his boiler room in the back, the furnace. And then over here, I've got a signed hockey mask from Kane Hodder, who played Jason in the last, I think he played Jason in 7 through 10, I believe. And then I've got a signed replica Freddy Krueger glove, signed by Robert Englund. Got the classic JVC top loader VCR, as seen in the beginning credits for the TV show The Goldbergs. I've never watched it. I've heard it's fairly funny. Like a mint Atari 2600 that my wife scored for me at a consignment store for Christmas. Came with a bunch of controllers, and it came with about 16 original games in their original box. VHS tape rewinder, an old phone. Here's my Stranger Things walkie-talkies, and original Game Boy with some games. This piece right here is, I believe it was a McFarlane Toys Movie Maniacs Series 3. It's the Orca with Jaws eating Quint. Jaws is my favorite movie of all time. This is a very highly sought after collector's piece. I got it for $80. It was still in the box. That's crazy because it goes for about $400 now if it's still in the box. And then a couple more shelves of some various action figures, mostly NECA stuff. I prefer their stuff over most of the other companies. And then a bunch of film posters, The Crow, Last Starfighter, Halloween, Big Trouble in Little China. Over here, got a couple of signed mini posters, the All Valley Karate Championship from the Karate Kid, signed by William Zabka, Ralph Macchio, and Martin Covey. Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso, and Sensei Kreese, respectively. A mini Weird Science poster signed by Ellen Mitchell Smith and Anthony Michael Hall. A House of the Devil poster signed by director Ty West.
Where did you get Freddie and Jason to sign these things?
I started going to like these pop culture conventions.
Well, Comic-Con, and I was going to ask you, have you been to San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah, I've been to San Diego. I went there once. I've been to New York Comic-Con, but mostly it's just local conventions in the New England area, where I got to meet Robert Englund and my Kane Hodder Jason mask. I've had that since I was a kid because there was a very popular like Halloween theme park in my town that I grew up in that was the first of its kind. It was haunted hayride, multiple haunted houses. They would bring in horror movie celebrities, Tiny Tim and Elvira. They would all come and, sign autographs. Back then it was free to get an autograph for a picture. Now you got to pay for it, which, whatever.
Things have changed. Wow.
But yeah, there's actually a documentary coming out about that theme park this coming, it's almost spring, so I don't know if it's going to be out this soon, but I think either this year or next year it's coming out, and I did an interview in it, so keep your eyes open for that.
Absolutely. We'll get all those links when they're available. I mean, this show is so extra special. It's also not only because you're here and to get to know you, which is so important, but also in honor of none other than Superman. I mean, I think we're being kind of obvious about that. And your Superman collection is simply tear-inducing. I'm getting verklempt. It is. People, just look at this.
This is my Superman shelf. Various different figures and statues. And then this is the Piece de Resistance, my Christopher Reeve Hot Toys museum quality statue. It was a huge it wasn't a huge purchase, but it was a very special purchase for me in 2012.
Amazing. So when did you first, let's just say, fall in love with Superman? Because I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah, probably like when I started walking. I mean, I have started this cassette that I have playing right now is the old, it's the old Superpowers VHS Superman cartoon that I believe was released in conjunction with the action figures back in those days.
Wow.
I just remember watching that tape endlessly when I was a kid. And then of course the Christopher Reeve movies, which came out right around when I was born. Those are my Superman movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just
Well, that's where it's, and I'm so glad that's where it started for you. So as you know, show and tell is a two-way street. So, it's a two-way street here. So I would be missing an opportunity, not to show off some of my stuff. And for those who've seen my Laura Dre interview, you will have already seen this item, but I don't care. It's my show. You will see it again. Damn it. So, and this is just, it's everything. It's the Mego Superman.
Nice.
It was pretty much Christopher Reeve for when that movie came out in 1978. And it was like one of those birthday presents I got when I was, like 7 or something. And even though the artwork is not really from Superman the movie, it was made to look like him, and he's even tanned and everything, like my brother. So
it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman.
Superman with flyaway action. Jor-El, General Zod, and Lex Luthor each sold separately. It's Superman. And this is Wonder Woman with flyaway action. Flyaway action for Wonder Woman and Superman require assembly. Wonder Woman, you can make her fly. Superman and Wonder Woman, both with a flyaway action pack. All figures sold separately by Mego.
I just kind of keep that there, yes. But on the other side, the program from the movie that they gave out in the movie theater.
That's great.
Is
nice
it
press packet?
Yeah. Let me see. With all of these guys. Yeah. Well, I think they
that's great. That's so the original vinyl soundtrack release of that has that picture on the gatefold when you open it up.
And that vinyl is right here on my
nice.
So I got that. I just got a few more to get out of the way real quick. This is little, and then there's one more. So and this is more recent. Oh. Got a little Zod, and this is actually a very big deal.
Wow. OG. That's fantastic.
Aladdin.
I love it.
It's the original. It's in mint condition. It cost me a pretty penny. That's the other side.
Oh, nice. Still has the thermos. Come on.
Oh, it's unused. It's in perfect condition from 1978. So
that's great.
I'm scared to even let anyone even look at this kind of stuff. So yeah. So
let me grab some things real quick because I have some other things.
Yes. Right, your turn.
Okay. So sharing our Superman stuff. Of course, I have this was the only one I brought down off the shelf. The big one is like, you would laugh at me because I don't handle it very much, but when I do, I put on these little cotton white gloves because my friend who I was living with at the time of the purchase, he's a big collector. Him and his dad both collect a lot of those like expensive, Hot Toys, Sideshow Collectibles deals. Yeah. And when I bought that and it showed up, his dad gave me a pair of white gloves to handle it. And so I was like, I better wear them because he knows more about this than I do. Smart
man. In fact, that's why I'm scared to even mess with my stuff too much. But yeah. Wow.
So this is my little Kenner Superman from the Superpowers series. Again, I think it came out in conjunction with that tape, or the tape came with the figure. I can't remember, but it's not the exact one. It's like not the one I had when I was a kid, but it's one that I bought on eBay.
Yeah, I've had to do the same with the things I've lost. So
yeah.
Is that the only thing you have?
No, I got a couple other ones. So I had the pleasure of meeting Margot Kidder before she had passed. So she signed my DVD for me, and she was very, very sweet. And she actually told me that I moved like Christopher Reeve. I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Wow.
And then I got to meet Helen Slater as well, and she signed my Supergirl DVD. So Helen Slater, great.
We won't talk about that movie today.
Okay, it must
I'll
be
just
a story on that one.
let that go. But
And
hi,
then
Helen.
this,
You tried. What else you have?
this is an item that is very near and dear to my heart because my grandmother used to play music from the Superman movie on her organ in her house when I was over, and we lost her. Actually, we lost her like last week in 2012. So it's been about 10 years.
10 years.
But this is the sheet music that she used to have. That
Come
I
on.
found it on eBay and bought it. So, but just kind of a little memento.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed.
Yeah. Well, growing up, my family lived a very humble lifestyle. My dad was a police officer. My mom worked for New England Electric Company, and we lived a very, very humble life. My brother, my sister, and I, we all grew up playing sports in our small town. Kept playing sports through high school. My sister was the real athlete of the family. But we when we would go on vacations, we would stay close to home. We wouldn't really venture out further than New England. I had a lot of friends that would go to Florida or, other, big, and we didn't do that. We didn't really feel like we needed to, you know what I mean? Everything that we had was here. So yeah, it was a very, very quiet and, loving family. I'm the youngest of three.
Oh, wow.
So it was.
What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Wow. I wanted to be like a TV and radio personality.
Hello.
That's what I wanted to do. I went to college. I got my degree in communications. I had a really good internship at a radio station my senior year. And then I realized that I didn't love it enough to do a radio show from like midnight to 3 and then work a regular job during the day. I couldn't see myself doing it.
Right.
And so I moved back home after college and got a job at Best Buy. Like I said before, I worked there for 4 years. And then in 2007, I started working at the university. I do technology support. I've always been a big tech guy, kind of a
Nerd.
tech nerd. Yeah, exactly. And since as long as I can remember, we've had a computer in my house. My dad has always been very in tune with new technology and stuff like that. So and I've been working there ever since. And
wow, that's amazing. So
yeah.
now back to the futurism.
Mhm.
What prompted you to start Retrofuturism 101?
Well, I got into synthwave music probably around the same time a lot of people did. It's kind of funny. A lot of these things that we're talking about all go back to like 2011, 2012. That's when a lot of this stuff started to pick up for me. And there's a reason for that. I'll get into it in a little bit. But so right around then was when I started to get into this kind of music. I'd always been into electronic music and, like I said, electronic film scores and stuff like that. But I did a radio show in college, so I had a little bit of experience doing that. And again, like I said, I wanted to do that as a profession. The university that I work at has a radio station. So I started doing Retrofuturism 101 there back in 2017, 2016.
Wow, okay.
So I've been doing it for a while. But it wasn't like a continuous thing for a whole year. It was like, it was really just for the summer, because that's when my schedule allowed for it to happen. Because during the school year, I work nights, and during the summer, I work during the day. So I was basically doing one show a week after I would get out of work on, Thursday or Friday or whatever. I was getting ready to continue to do it again on the station there, and then COVID happened. So I was kind of feeling like, I wish I could do it, but I can't. So I remember my wife and I were just kind of hanging out, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Faith and the Glitch on Twitter. and Chef Tom, who doesn't do streams much anymore, but he's a super good guy, synthwave DJ. He's friends with the people that do the Neon Retro Fest. I'm not sure if you know about that, but I had saw them doing some synthwave DJ sets on Twitch. And I said to myself, I think I could do that. Maybe I can do a version of my show that I was doing on the station and, you know, move it over to Twitch and throw some visuals in. And it was supposed to be kind of a one-time thing, like one night just to give it a shot. And I had like a pretty decent reaction. So I kept doing it. And we're going to have our 100th episode on Twitch this August.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been like 2.5 years now.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I think I speak for all of us who watch you, and I want to say thank you, bud, you know, just for being there, pleasure. Being you, and, you know, keeping us company. I mean, obviously this period recently has been rough. And I mean, personally, I don't really leave the house much. I'm afraid of the world. I do everything in my like neon bubble. So when I discovered you recently as well, it was just like, I mean, it's just, and then of course you took a break recently, which you know, it's great. And Daddy, how is, you know, life is, you know, how is everything with the fam, and how many kids do you have?
2. I have 2 daughters.
Oh, wow.
My oldest daughter is 3.
Oh, wow.
And my newborn is 3 months.
Yes, and that's right. That's why you took a break. Yep.
They were born 3 years and 1 day apart. Their birthdays are a day apart.
So if you weren't asked a specific question, what would you want asked by someone, and what would you like the world to know about you right now in this moment in time?
Well, I think knowing initially how I discovered synthwave is a pretty interesting story. I mean, maybe it's not that interesting, but I like it anyway. Other than that,
well, tell us. No, we want to hear the
answer. Okay. So yeah, so this is, I like this story. I can't remember exactly what videos they were. So the first electronic album that I ever got into was Vegas by the Crystal Method. And that was back in, you know, the late 90s. It was a CD that my brother had bought. It was playing on his computer one day when I got home, and he had like just cleaned his room, and like he had a candle burning, and the vibe was like really cool. And the visualizer was going on the computer, and just the sounds were just like, I'd never heard anything like it before. So that was my first exposure to electronic music in that respect. And then I want to say, again, around 2000, probably 2012, 2013, something like that. Maybe even before that, actually. A couple of YouTube videos that I had come across. One of them was a short film, and there was some, I'm totally blanking on the name right now because whatever. But the other one that I watched was a mini documentary on one of the animators for Robot Chicken. And if you know Robot Chicken, it's all stop motion.
Yep.
This guy had hacked a Nintendo Power Glove with Bluetooth so that he could use it to do the computer animation, to take the snapshots, and then he would go over and move the figures, and then he would, you know, hit the buttons on the Power Glove. And the music for that documentary was the band Power Glove.
Okay.
And so then I just went down the rabbit hole.
Yep, that's the way it happens, and it is such a ride.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty freaking awesome. So what is next for Michael Knight and Retrofuturism 101? Aside from the 100th episode, we will note that, and we will make that a party. But what else do you have going on in your personally, and any exciting things and big projects? I think there's a movie soundtrack thingy you were.
Yeah. So a friend of mine directed his first feature-length film. It's called The Last Deal. It's debuting at the Boston International Film Festival this April. And I was the music supervisor for the movie. And basically I just sent him a whole bunch of tunes that I thought would work good in the movie. I have no idea what he's selected, but he knew what he was looking for, and I had an idea what he was looking for. So I just sent him a bunch of stuff, and we'll see how it goes.
You're the guy for
I'm
that. Yeah, you're
very,
pretty
very
awesome.
excited.
You select your things with precision, and it's really awesome. It's the way everything flows. So, is there any parting words you wanna say, in general to your peeps and to people that watch?
Yeah, I
every week?
mean, I do probably say it too much because, well, in the early days, I was drinking more during my shows, and I've kind of stopped doing that because I would watch them back, and by the end I was like slurring my words, and I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? So not drinking as much during the shows these days, but we do, that is part of the show. We like our our swill and chill. We have our swill beer and smooth libations. Yeah, of course. So it's part of the vibe of the program. But what was your question again? I can't remember where I was going.
What's next? What's coming up? What's next for you? And what would you like to do next? What's your, bucket list?
Well, so I do want to start incorporating some interviews with artists. Most people know at this point that I had an interview with KAL-ELLE from the Midnight.
Yes,
and
that's their poster right here from the show that they signed. Yeah.
The video just,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Went poof on me, and I was super disappointed because it was a really good interview. But I do have another one lined up with Draven, who's a dark synth artist.
Right.
He has a new album coming out at the end of April, so we're going to try to do something like that. I'm going to have the director of The Last Deal on the show to do a little interview, talk about the movie and the process that he and I went through. So yeah, try to do more interviews, maybe like a little 10-15 minute segment here and there. I don't want to take away from the music too much.
That's all you need. Well, you don't even need anything that long, to be honest with you. The way your program works is, keeping a flow going. So, we can talk about that later, but yeah, just a few minutes of a quick tease here and there works. But I think we're going to see a lot more of you. And in fact, I'm going to invite you at some point to do more stuff with us at popartav.com and, and all that good stuff. So this has been really, really awesome. And I'm just so impressed with everything. And, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But I will see you on Friday. And
be there for every Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, twitch.tv and Uncertain FM if you are unable to go on Twitch, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to put that all in the description of the video.
Excellent.
And for now, thank you so much. And let's just wave at our peeps, and we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
The KAL-ELLE Jagger Show and Tell is sponsored by Retro Reverb Records. And do not miss Michael Knight's Synthwave Skate Night, August 27th in the Boston area, with special appearances by Bunny X and Power Rob. See you there.